Alright guys, and welcome. We're watching EG versus SGC. Alright, if you guys are wondering, if you guys are watching on GoDz, you're going to be really confused by that. But apparently somebody on as the stand-in Sub-Tisser over here, also known as Pusher Street, is really not, he really hates GoDz, and he's not willing, he's not afraid to tell people. He's a really professional individual, obviously, as you can tell. So, really outstanding performance so far by Pusher Street on the EG team.
Former MYM.Dota professional player is Mr. Sut-Tisser.
Very professional, for sure. I feel like somebody's gonna talk to him after this game is over. I feel like it. I don't know.
Oh, this is just funny.
Yeah.
Like,
It's funny when people think that that actually gets to people, you know? It's like, there are hundreds, if not thousands, I don't know how many streams Toby is sitting at, how many viewers Toby is sitting at, but there's like thousands of people that get to watch you act like a child. And he thinks he's accomplishing something.
I don't know whether he thinks he's getting to me personally and upsetting me, or whether he's just going to humiliate me, but he's just making a joke of himself, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not accomplishing
I mean, I don't
anything.
actually hold any beef with him. Like, I mean, I have some very strong opinions every now and then. I'll be maybe rude to him occasionally, but I'm not actually holding beef towards him. Anyways, moving on, guys. Let's talk about this game. We've got EG versus SGC. SGC on the Radiant team. They've got a rather unusual lineup. They do have Kranich, who is their captain, who's been their captain for 3 or 4 years, as long as I can remember, but the rest of the names, they're complete stand-ins to me, and I don't know what really to expect from them, how good they are. But EG, obviously, a much more known team, and they're on the dire side here, and the pick span's getting well underway. What have we got, Purge?
Yeah, it looks like the same typical bans we saw the last game. Broodmother, Nightstalker, Andy Mage. We actually saw Lich in the first round, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. And SGC is going to first pick a Nature's Prophet, and then very curiously, EG going for a very different lineup, something we don't see very often, going for a Rasta, and most importantly, a Bat Rider. He's like the most underplayed hero in Dota 2 right now. Nobody uses him in Dota 2, unlike Dota 1.
Yeah, but as you said, he's underplayed. I love seeing him being picked up here. He definitely does fit into the metagame, at least in Dota 1. He's a very popular pick. He's not quite as strong in Dota 2, I feel, but it's going to be interesting to see how EG use him. Is a nice hero to pick against a Prophet because of the fact that you can Firefly out of Sprout, and Bat Rider is just one of those heroes very, very hard to kill. And we are going to see the Shadow Shaman picked up, so it looks to be a very aggressive lineup coming out of EG to help push down some towers and just be very aggressive. So Bat Rider going to be focusing on tanking up, diving past those towers to get some early kills, whereas SGC going for sort of a more safe, sort of passive style lineup with the Tide Windrunner picks, although Prophet is going to be their key hero here.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Tidehunter is really great for team fighting, but in terms of long-duration push matches, he's not always the best hero to defend against that kind of a thing. But he can clear out creeps and do a little bit of damage and stun everybody, which can make a big impact. And Windrunner, obviously a very survivable solo, and obviously good at counter-pushing. Power Shot is really great at that stuff. But I'm definitely interested to see how EG plays here. I mean, they've lived in China for 2 months now. They just got back recently. And what kind of weird strategies have they concocted in that time period? I know they've been playing Dota 1, but you know the games really aren't that different at all. It's just graphics and a couple minor tweaks, and the hero pool is shifted. So in some ways, they're kind of coming from an unknown metagame and hopping into this because, you know, all these other top European teams have been playing Dota 2 the last couple months, and they've been shifting back to Dota 1 and once again back to 2 again.
Yeah, EG definitely have a different understanding of the metagame, and I don't mean that in a good or a bad way. It's more just expect something different coming out of them in terms of picks and bans. We talked about earlier how in the Myth Trust vs Panzer game, you see the Southeast Asian teams having their own kind of style of picks, where they do like to pick up some sort of more unusual heroes. They did really favor the Void, as well as heroes like Slada. Here we're going to see EG with some kind of unique style of their own, whereas SGC going for sort of a typical, sort of the European style of play with the Tidehunter, which is very popular. Prophet always going to be a first pick wherever you go, and Windrunner a very versatile hero that does fit into any lineup. But EG with the Chen, that's a lot of pushing power, a lot of heals, and that's going to make their heroes very hard to kill. As far as this second ban stage is concerned, SGC banning off of Venomancer and Omni Knight. I don't think we would have seen EG pick up an Omni Knight. Not a hero that really fits into their style or with these other picks, but Venomancer definitely a smart ban there. Whereas EG going for the AA ban to stop that that ultimate, which is so annoying to verse as a Chen, as it does prevent you from healing.
Yeah, and like you said, Omni Knight would have been kind of a weird ban, or a weird pick for EG, and I agree with that. Rasta needs a solo almost always. Like, once in a while we'll see a Rasta support, but I don't think it's the best way to play him. And Batrider as well, very, very much a well-known solo hero. So picking up an Omni Knight as well, I guess they do have a jungler, so they did have that option. They could have done a dual lane with either Rasta, Omni, or Batrider, but still would have been kind of a weird pickup. And maybe SGC just wanted to be really safe. They didn't have to want to screw around with that repel, which can be very, very frustrating.
Yep, and we do see the Witch Doctor CM being picked up for each team, and both teams basically picking up their main supports. We don't really see any hard carries being picked up yet, so whether or not, I think SGC are going to want to play this safe, which means they are going to go for some kind of carry or semi-carry here. The Slardar still in the pool is still an option, but maybe going to want to go with something that can stop pushes, and they do go with the Weaver, so Swarm is going to be useful for stopping pushes, and this, I mean, EG have the Shadow Shaman to disable the Weaver, but they haven't got a huge amount of nuke burst damage, nothing like a Lion or some kind of heavy nuker that can kill a Weaver really very quickly, but if they do get those disables off, they will have enough damage, and there's EG's sort of carry or semi-carry. It's the Dragon Knight, a great hero for pushing because he's just so tanky, and that level 1 Dragon form does bonus damage to towers too. That's going to be a very strong hero if it can get some early farm up, and really liking seeing DK get picked up here. We saw, I mean, it's been used a bit by especially these Southeast Asian teams. They love using that DK, not just Mineski, but Orange using DK, Natural 9 using DK. But the Europeans haven't really caught on and started using him yet. But here we do see EG using him, and this could be the start of a bit of a DK trend.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about the hero. He's like actually, I mean, for most hard carries in the game, you can build him as a hard carry. He not only has a burst magic damage, that is AoE, but he also has a stun. Like, those two things together is a really weird combination. Plus, he can push at level 6. That poison damage from his ultimate is ridiculously good, 20 damage per second over 5 seconds. You can just hit a tower every 5 seconds, basically, and just drop it. It makes a big difference and allows you to transition from this interesting pushing strategy into an actual hard carry in the mid to late game and still stay toe-to-toe with major hard carries like Anti-Mage or something like that.
Yep, and we're going to get right into it. On the Radiant team, we have got Kranich playing that Prophet. It looks like he is going to be soloing that mid lane. He's heading there right away. Heading top, we have got Entic playing that Witch Doctor, has some Ob Sword, probably going to go immediately and block the creep pull at top lane. Looks like Tidehunter as well, played by Like I Give a F, playing that Tidehunter. It looks to also be going up top. And finally, in what looks to possibly be a top tri lane is the Windrunner, played by Orsec, with some strange, crazy accents going on, has going to be going for that Ring of Protection into an early Basilisk Ring, and Weaver is at bottom, and it looks like he's going to be soloing that bottom lane. We may see a support hero going there as necessary, because he is going to be up against a fairly tough lane of EG, and what have we got on EG's side?
It looks like we have the Crystal Maiden with Fear on the bottom, Playmate, also known as the Bad Manner son. Tisser going to be playing the Crystal Maiden. We'll see if he gets any assists this game. EG Fear is going to be playing the Dragon Knight. On the mid lane, we have the White Stuff playing Chen, and also Yellowbird, who is, they said that was Playmate, which would make sense. He does solo a lot. And finally, the last player, EG Demon, going to be playing a Batrider this game on the top lane.
Yep, and some great artwork coming out from some of these EG players.
They like
really, yeah, they like drawing.
All right.
But we are going to see DD Room picked up by Weaver at the start of bottom lane. That's going to help him out, get some early last hits, and as the wave is going to be at his tower, it's going to mean if DK goes in for last hits, Weaver's going to be able to get some nice harass off very, very early. Weaver just has to be careful to stay as far away from that CM harass as possible early on, and Chen in that jungle is going to be looking to come out, maybe find some ganks on CM, and quite interesting, Chen has boots first, so Chen didn't do any chicken, any warding. It was all the Tide, sorry, they've got Tide and Witch Doctor, and sorry, they've got the CM, so CM did both warding and chicken, which left the Chen to get boots first.
Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Finding a random creep in the jungle. Was that a pull? Yeah, they were trying to pull the wave away, just kill one out. They do get the stun on the Weaver, but it's not going to cause a whole lot. If you're actually getting attacked a few times, the Ice Block, that's actually a lot of damage done to the Weaver already. A minute in here, into this laning. He's going to have to pop himself. He did get 2 bottle charges. He's actually just going to sit on Tangos for now and get slowly regened up in the mid lane. It is, of course, Nature's Prophet, soloing against the Shadow Shaman. He's going to get a really fast bottle here. He's literally 50 gold away. And top lane, once again, Batrider soloing against a Windrunner, which is a semi-even match, but really comes down to whether or not you land regular power shots on that Batrider.
Yep, and this Shadow Shaman, I think he knows that this Tide Witch Doctor are missing. He's playing very cautiously, playing on the bottom side of the lane, so because if they do gank, they're going to come from above, and he is already as far down as he can run, and will be running back to that tower if they do come. But they've moved around, they've realized they can't gank that middle lane, and they're going to actually head all the way bottom, and they're going to run into this Chen very, very soon though. But Chen with boots is going to be hard to kill, and Chen actually going to get out before they come in.
Yeah, it's actually a very smart plan that the Chen did. I mean, most times you're saying, why is Chen getting boots first? But if you're doing an aggressive jungle, you are much more likely to be found by the enemy support heroes, and a Chen without boots who gets found by a Witch Doctor Tidehunter is at most gonna barely survive a gank. You know, you're gonna lose at least 80% of your HP with a dual disable. So I think what EG basically did here was, I believe SGC was predicting them to throw the Dragonite on the top lane, which is why they started their tri lane off up there, and then as they realized, oh, Weaver is not going to be that effective against a Crystal Maiden DK, we'll shift our supports down the tri lane, we'll go down the bot lane, and either one of these is okay for SGC, but they did have to waste some time with these supports roaming across the map.
Yep, and I've actually just read that apparently the white stuff, the last play for EG is apparently Malk.
Really? Oh, that would make sense. That would make sense.
Malk playing the Chen. I mean, it is a hero that he has been known to play. So, rumor has it it's Malk. Not so much as
the
confirmed.
Name makes sense as well. The white stuff, Malk.
Yeah.
So
that is definitely a name that Malk would use. So he's going to be playing the Chen. So if that is Malk and Push, that's a very strong lineup that EG are using here. And we are going to maybe see a gank going mid as Malk with a Troll Ward. A couple Skeleton Warriors will help tank the tower. And Prophet going to see a gank coming in. There's the ensnare, but there's no backup. Shadow Shaman is nowhere near, and is actually going to get Sprout on the Chen under the tower, but the tower changes focus from the Chen to the creep, and Chen is kept alive on a couple hundred HP.
Yeah, he's going to be able to pop up a salve, not the best salve usage. His Troll Warlord is actually really low HP. We'll see if he sends that back or just grabs a new creep. It's oftentimes one of the best early game creeps for ganking, so I could maybe see him just sending it back, but it looks like he may be roaming back towards the bot lane. Unfortunately, that was an unsuccessful gank. I don't know if Ross just reacted late or what, but wasn't able to get anything off there.
I just don't think they had the damage to actually kill the Prophet there. I mean, Prophet with 758 HP because of those two gauntlets of strength. With only a level 5 Shadow Shaman, I don't think they can actually kill him. Dark Troll Ward is nice for ganking, but he's just going to get that killed off because it's hard to actually neutral with it when it is on such low HP, and if you send it back to base, use up more of your mana, and you're better off just getting a new creep. So that is what we're going to see here, and it looks like the Radiant team, they've transitioned Tide Witch Doctor walking all the way from top to bottom. It's now a tri-lane bottom, going to make DK's time at bottom lane very, very hard.
Yeah, he's going to pick up some Dragon Armor at this point. I think that's what it's called. Dragon Blood, sorry. But he is maxing out the Fire Breath first. There is a possibility for them getting a kill, but they're probably going to need some tower involvement. He's actually going to get CS with the last hits, and Crystal Maiden will take the first cast, and a Gush as well, but that's it. They're definitely not going to get any follow-ups, and that's actually absolutely worth it for Crystal Maiden to eat those abilities.
Yep, and we are going to see, First Blood goes down as Chen picks up the Witch Doctor. Weaver in a bit of trouble as well, so's the Tide. 2 kills already going in EG's favor, and Weaver needs to get that Shikuchi off cooldown, but no, not going to come as the Fork Lightning Ether Shock gets the kill, and 3 kills at bottom. The entire tri-lane goes down, and there's Shadow Shaman hitting level 6 because of all those kills, and a tower kill going there. And EG off to a great start.
Yeah, that was such a good play there by the Rasta. I mean, they spotted out the Weaver, and he got as close as possible to the tree so that he could shoot a lightning across the tree line. That was really good play by him. And we'll see if they get the last hit of the tower. I think they will. Really fast tower pickup here, and I just love that play. They get the team fight, they take a tower, it doesn't even matter, but they're allowed to do it because of the heroes that they picked up. That mega push coming out of the Shadow Shaman, and eventually the DK as well once he hits 6.
Yep, and the Weaver TPing right back in, not too sure what he was trying to accomplish with that TP. They weren't going to ever stop that push. And Tide Witch Doctor at back bottom with Weaver, but EG, having taken that T1 tower, they're going to quite happily back off, ease up on the pressure at bottom lane, and switch their focus on either mid or top. The Windrunner at top is very vulnerable, not to mention Prophet at mid is an easy kill thing at a few ganks in, and here comes Chen with a Ursa Warrior with the clap. Prophet is going to do some scouting with these trees, so very clued into as to what's going on, and is going to be backing off, playing it very safe here. maybe calling for some backup from his teammates.
Yeah, Chen's going to grab a Satyr Hellcaller with that Ursa. It's a lot of magic nuke, but no disable. Basically, that Ursa clap is actually really tough to land generally. And with the Test of Faith on the hero himself, he's just looking at a lot of magic bursts. So if there can be a disable from a Shadow Shaman, it could be actually really good. And yeah, that might be what ended up happening. The cask actually hitting really hard on Chen. Most of his creeps are disabled. Are they going to get the Fury on? It's not going to happen. Witch Doctor heals him up just enough. But I think Rasta will get the last hit. He just needs to hit him once. There it is. Does get that last hit. Nature's Prophet, the only hero down at the moment. The Gush goes on the Shadow Shaman. He's got a regen. He just needs to survive, and he will actually see the regen pop in a second. Fear is here as well. Level 5. There's
not to mention those Serpent Wards are just off cooldown, so he can now use those Serpent Wards. And SGC really need to be careful here, because those Serpent Wards are just going to dominate this fight. And a huge Ward Trap finds Prophet. Prophet going to buy back and immediately die. And I believe other SGC heroes are in a lot of trouble as well. And this game very quickly heading in EG's favor as they are now up by 5 kills. And Tide Hunter gets sheathed. Is there a Shackle or a Fork? There's a DK stun. That's going to do more than enough damage with the Ether Shock from Rasta. And another kill going in EG's favor as Shadow Shaman wants to keep chasing, quickly realizing he can't catch up with that Witch Doctor. But more kills going in EG's favor, and a tier 1 tower at mid now sees them up 2 tier 1 towers. And this is getting very one-sided very, very quickly.
Yeah, it's such a cool game so far, man. How often do you have a 5v5 team fight in the Radiant neutral camps right there? That is so cool, man. 6-1. They lost one hero. That was a Nature's Prophet ulti picking off the Crystal Maiden there at the last second, but they are just sitting really good right now. Shadow Shaman playing very effectively. DK as well showing up, man, and after they win a team fight, once again, taking out that mid tower, and they have a huge advantage at this point. 5k gold advantage. Oh my god, 8-minute game? Are you kidding me? That is ridiculous.
Yeah, this game, so early in the game still, but just such a huge amount of farm on these Dire heroes, because 2 towers, 6 kills, and that's going to really help all their heroes, including their supports, get up some nice, boots, bottles, braces. They're going to have it all, and top lane is where the pressure is going to come now, as Demon has a very, very quick blink dagger. Yeah,
I absolutely forgot about the Bat Rider in this game. Shadow Shaman Invisible going to be initiating. Bat Rider will blink. I think they're going to go for the Windrunner as fast as possible, and as soon as this creep wave gets cleared, I think Demon actually be very, very patient here. There's still about 30 seconds left on the Shadow Shaman before the initiation. There's one blink. Here comes. Does not end up getting... he's going in. He's going to hop on. Windrunner in a lot of trouble. She's going to be disabled. And Tide Hunter as well going to not survive this. Guaranteed. Really great gank by those 2 heroes. Very, very well planned there.
Yeah, they quite smartly took out the Windrunner first, knowing that Tide didn't even have boots there, so they wouldn't be able to kill that Tide Hunter with ease. They just had to make sure they got that Windrunner. Don't let him Windrun out, and with those boots, it can be quite hard to kill. So definitely a good call there, using that Bat Rider ultimate on the Windrunner, and 2 kills for EG. Going to see them get this top tier 1 tower with those Serpent Wards, and a 3rd tower going in EG's favor is going to give them a huge, huge lead.
Yeah, definitely. Bat Rider picking up an urn now on the bot lane. Dragon Knight just farming the bot lane, but he doesn't really matter, man. He's got really big armor levels. He has a 2-level advantage over the Weaver, so even with a little bit of harass, it's not a big deal. He can always just stun and Fire Breath for pretty big burst damage, but that tower does go down on the top lane, and will the Radiant team be able to trade on the middle lane?
They need some gold, and a tower at mid will be very useful to help them get back into this game. But EG, they don't want to give them any openings. They are heading towards there, looking to back him up. CM and DK go in. It's 3v2, but the 2 of EG doing so much damage. Bat Rider is now here with Chen, and Fear is just cleaning up with the help of Bat Rider. And Kranich trying to TP out is going to do so, will survive. The Prophet barely TPing out in time, but 2 more kills in EG's favor.
Yeah, they are playing really good. The Dragon Knight did not actually have his Dragon Tail at the time. He's only level 7, but he does have 1200 gold and the Bracer, Wand, and the Tread, so he's doing great, man, for 10 minutes.
I mean, if he's got that Bracer, I think he may be just going straight drums. I mean, it is an unusual build on a DK, but EG with such a big early game lead, if they get some early game items like drums, I mean, it gives +9 to all stats, and DK is a pretty low mana hero, so having all that extra mana to use spells, extra HP, extra attack speed can really help a hero like DK, and the auras will help his team, so maybe going to see first item drums on Fear, as right now, as long as they're getting some strong early game items, they're just going to get a bigger and bigger lead as this game goes on.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. That'd be really smart. Demon Invisible on the top lane. He's going to be ulting on the Nature Prophet a little slow, but absolutely fine. We're going to see Disabled as soon as that lasso runs out, and there it is. Disable's going off, but Nature's Prophet a little bit more survivable than I thought he would be, but Dragon Knight steals, or actually Barrier does get the kill, but it looked like Fire Breath was trying to jack that kill.
Yeah, he came in looking for that kill still, not going to find it though. And Fear going to do some shopping, picks up a ring of health, not going to go for that drums of endurance, just going to go possibly for a vanguard, maybe for a pipe. Both definitely possibilities here. It depends what he wants to go for, but either way he's going to be taking up. And it's bottom lane where Chen uses the heal to keep the Shadow Shaman alive. Windrunner and the Weaver are trying to finish him off. Windrunner will go down to those Serpent Wards by the looks of it, but not without Shadow Shaman going down as well. Weaver picking up that kill there. SGC's second kill, but that's a big kill because Shadow Shaman gives a fair bit of gold.
Yeah, it was kind of a possible misplay there by Malk. He did not send the Rasta back despite being at 30%. I feel like he did have the mana and he did have it off cooldown, so I feel like he was maybe just trying to be awesome and make some awesome play happen, but I think that was a little bit of a mistake, obviously. The Rasta did end up going down. It's like, it was just a few too many heroes and his HP was already so low. I think it would have been the smarter decision.
Yeah, I think he could have saved in there, but we are going to see top lane, Tidehunter goes down. Tidehunter only level 3 at this point, and compared to the DK and Batrider, who are level 8 and 9, that is a very, very poor and under-leveled Tidehunter.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Dragon Knight going to clear the creep wave on the top. There's a little bit of pushing on the mid lane. Slows go down with a Hex as well. What is he doing? Run up to the high ground, and he's going to get shackled. Is he going to go down? There's not enough damage coming out of the other support heroes, but the last hit is going to get him, I think. Oh my god, it was a miss.
He misses.
Holy crap.
Pushes straight. Luck not on his side for once. And he does actually, yes, he does TP out, so Pusher Street getting unlucky there with that last hit. The attack uphill missing, and Prophet of Kranich does survive, barely.
And Batrider will heal up with his urn. Is he going to jump on this Windrunner? Batrider with the Blink Dagger, man. Such a good Windrunner counter, but there's the Hex. Are we going to get a shackle? The nuke damages this so much, and Tidehunter will be the next to fall. SGC is just getting so picked apart. This playstyle so far coming out of EG is really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, EG just playing so aggressive. This is 13 minutes in and they are taking the tier 2 middle tower. They've already taken the tier 2 top tower and they are going to be looking to take racks sort of around 15 to 16 minutes in with those Shadow Shaman wards, which are now back up. Is he actually going to use them at this racks here? That would be very, very impressive if they could take racks 13 minutes in and they've used it. DK has ultimate in 5 seconds and that DK ultimate could be what they need to actually do some serious damage to this tower, to the racks, and I think EG may just take racks before even 15 minutes is up here.
Yeah, that would be absolutely ridiculous. Weaver doing as much AoE damage as possible with his Sakuchi. The Gush goes down on the Dragon Knight, trying to keep his HP low, but I feel like that's probably the wrong target. Power Shot comes through, lands on a lot of support heroes. Good Power Shot, but there's the Disable, and Weaver gets picked off. Do they have a... Yeah, they did have a Sentry Ward down, and that's going to go a long ways. And can they pick off the tower before all the wards die? It's going to be close, but I think they will get it. And then they're going to roll up the hill, man, and there's nothing that can stop them. The Radiant team can't outfight them right now.
Oh, it's just, they haven't got the levels. You haven't even got a Tide altar yet. Tide is only level 4, and the Dire team just with so much farm, so many levels, and this game is all but over now as 17 to 2 kills at 14 minutes and racks going down. And this is just a very, very dominating performance coming out of PG, and nothing SGC can do at this point as they are just so far behind.
Pull in the Witch Doctor back as well, not able to burst him down, but they did catch the Nature's Prophet. Windrunner also going to survive. I think Fear actually going to make a little bit of a mistake there. Does get shackled in, and Crystal Maiden also going to go down. So looks like the Chen almost saved him, but not going to happen. And Shadow Shaman going to be pursued as well. This could be a little bit of a mistake from EG. I think they still have a huge advantage, but that was a nice pickup for SGC.
Yeah, definitely some much needed kills for SGC, but they're just still so far behind. Holy cow, looking at that gold graph, it was a like 16,000 gold difference at 15 minutes.
Wow.
And it is going to sort of swing a little bit, get a bit smaller because of that, those 3 kills there, but not going to be a huge difference as EG are in a great position. As soon as they respawn, they can just go mid again. They are just, basically SGC can't fight them in a 5v5 fight. They only won that one because they dived into those tier 4 towers, and 15 minutes in the game when you don't have too many items, those tier 4 towers do a hell of a lot of damage. They can basically 5 or 6 shot some heroes like Crystal Maiden. Even the DK with all that armor will go down to those towers in maybe 10 or so hits. Yeah,
it really is a lot. And surprisingly, Nature's Prophet not TPing the bot lane to push. He does pick up the fast Django, you're correct there. All of those stat items, you know, like the +9 to all stats makes a big difference on heroes like Dragon Knight. A strength carry, you know, gives them more attack speed, more armor, more magic casting, and even the movement speed aura is a big deal when some of your heroes, alright, they all do have boots, but I mean, if they didn't have boots, that is a big advantage chasing the enemy team.
And we see Arcane Boots on Pusher, a couple Arcane Boots on the Dire team. They've got 2 Arcane Boots, they've got a mech, they've got Vlads, and they've got drums. The only aura they are, sort of aura team fight item they are missing is that pipe. You may see pipe on Demon, but right now they aren't up against much magic spell damage. I mean, sure, there's a Tidehunter ulti. I'm sure there's not a Tidehunter ulti. There will be eventually. He is almost level 6. There's a Windrunner power shot, but there's actually not much magic damage coming out of this Radiant team. The mech, the urns, those heals, and those damage aura. It's sort of the more aggressive auras with Drum of Endurance and Vlad's just allowing them to take a very, very quick mid rax, as they're going to get both the melee and range rax at mid. And they're going to maybe even go for top.
Yeah, they did. Somebody pinged up there. It's going to be a little tough to go on it without another Sentry or Serpent Ward. They may just back up, farm for a little bit, maybe take a Roshan. There's no way that the Radiant team can outfight them in a team fight, so they could just go for that. They're all going to group up a little bit. Looks like we have a Necro Book picked up on Shadow Shaman just to increase his pushing power. And a couple heroes TPing to the top lane. They're going on the Nature's Prophet. Does he have a TP? Even if he does, he's not going to make it, and Rasta will chase. That's it. Nature's Prophet goes down. Another free kill. This is like what we saw in the last game, you know? They were so far behind, all they could try to do is do backdoors with the Nature's Prophet. But with a little bit of team coordination, they can just completely shut that down, and he doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah, so I mean, at the same time, he's getting no team support. The rest of his team are just so underfarmed and underleveled that the only pressure at the moment on the Radiant team is coming from Prophet, and Weaver just walks into like 4 or 5 heroes at bottom there, and the question marks come out because it looks like SGC are just throwing in the towel here. This game is all but over, and the last outer tower is going to get taken down, and it looks like EG want to finish off this game, take out this bottom tier 3 tower, and push on towards this Rax, as we do see Vanguard up on Demon's Batrider, and that's just going to make him a lot tankier and harder to kill.
Yeah, definitely. I want to talk a second about how powerful the Vlads is in this such early pushing situations. 5 armor on all of your creeps makes a giant difference, especially with that mech as well.
Yep.
I mean, those 3 auras, Django or Drums of Endurance, Vlads, and a mech, such a big impact on the game. And there's the blink on the Windrunner. He's going to run into so many nukes. Immediately gets bursted down. Another benefit once again of Dragonite. The Tidehunter does ulti. Does he catch anybody? I think he got Crystal Maiden, but that was about it. He's going to get cleaned up. But Witch Doctor actually doing quite a bit. But everybody is so farmed, it's barely scratching the surface of their HP.
Crystal Maiden, Pusher Street does go down. The Weaver, the entire Radiant team just said, hey, we need to get 1 kill in this fight, else it's not looking good. So they just basically focus all their efforts on taking out the Crystal Maiden, but meanwhile, it's Playmate, the Shadow Shaman, just absolutely wiping apart the SGC team, and Weaver's going to be the last one to go down, and this is pretty much game over here, as bottom ranks will go down, and in less than 20 minutes, that was probably one of the quickest casts of my life.
That was an awesome game, though, I must say. That was just like very, very meticulous, awesome play by every single player in the game there. Like, honestly, it wasn't just a complete outplay. I mean, it was technically, but it was just such an awesome game. They played it so perfectly, using the strengths of all their heroes exactly how they planned to do so.
Yeah, really convincing stuff coming from EG. And however, for me, the issue is this is a sort of weaker tier 2, tier 3 European team, and they're not even using their full roster, so you can't really say how strong this lineup is actually going to be. They are up against Mouse Sports in their next game, so that's going to be a true test for them. But if this game's anything to show for that one, this EG team are going to be very, very tough competition for Mouse Sports.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. That is very important to point out, and something that should be looked at. I mean, everybody looks good against a worse team. You know, everybody is going to look good. It all comes down to the best teams fighting each other, and they're going to go for Roshan here. Looks like Fear does he? Yeah, he's still sitting on the single level of Elder Dragon form, and they're going to just take out the Roshan, pick up the Aegis. They don't necessarily need this, but you know, why not go for it? Just absolutely put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, and it more just goes back to that sort of dedicated training. If this is a serious game, a tournament final or something, you don't want to take any chances. Sure, you could say this game is completely over, but in a game that is a bit closer, they would be taking Roshan there, not looking to just go push mid as 5 heroes and maybe feed a few kills and give away their lead. So it's all about getting into good habits, and that's what taking Roshan there is about. I mean, I imagine they could have easily pushed and end the game, but they want to keep up those good habits, and we do see a Necrobook level 3 finished on Shadow Shaman, so that is going to add a huge amount of pushing power as well.
Yeah, he's moderately farmed for 21 minutes here. They're just going to run up the mid lane, clear the creep wave.
Yeah.
As soon as the creeps are in the base, all of the towers can be hit. They won't get that beast regen. It doesn't matter if you haven't pushed the top lane. And they have so many aura creeps as well, so I mean, there's a Witch Doctor kind of running in. I don't know if he was paying attention or what, but he doesn't do anything. And now the damage being done to the tier 4 towers, once those are down, the game is pretty much over. Weaver will get bursted down. He doesn't get Scoochie. Did I see a bonus damage from something? Not really sure, but either way, man, this game is over. All the towers are gone. I don't even think they're going to Mega Rax it. I think they're just going to throne it.
They are going to go for that throne, and the throne is already pretty much down. 21.5 minutes. EG absolutely destroying SGC. I mean, few words can really describe how one-sided this game was and how well EG played, so really kudos to them. A great game coming out from this team led by Fear.
Yeah, they did a great job. Fast items, really good coordination, just excellent team fighting in that early jungle team fight, which really pushed and synced in their lead. So, alright, we'll be back in just a second with EG versus Mousesports. Hopefully Mousesports is ready, but we did start a little bit late, so I think this fast game really set us back on pace, so we should be back pretty fast here with the next game of EG versus Mousesports, and we'll see if they can do a repeat performance.